Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to our next episode of SWE Mayhem. We are back to race some more Mayhem. We've got a cracking card for you once again here this evening. Got a few, I'm not even going to try and say that. A few debutants here for Mayhem. And we are going to start things off with a tag team match here this evening. The Unbreakable effing Machines, Michael Elgin and Brian Cage, take on the American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. And here we go. It is time. Now, first time I think we've seen Brian Cage in this universe mode. We used him in the previous year, and I couldn't find a decent version of him. This isn't too bad, actually. It's a bit on the shiny side, but it's actually a pretty decent version. It's I'm not going to say by any stretch of the imagination it's our best core in the game, but definitely decent enough. And to bring this tag team to Mayhem is definitely something that I think Brian Cage is going to help us do. Well, of course he is. He's half of it anyway. That's a stupid sentence, wasn't it? I apologise profusely for my poor use of the English language there. They're bringing this tag team to roster, something that PJW really wanted to do. And you can sort of see why. They're a dominant force, and the American Wolves could be in for some trouble here this evening. We've seen anything of the American Wolves yet? No, this is the first appearance of the American Wolves in the universe mode. So, of course, we already know... Huh. Interesting. So I've just noticed that I may have made a slight booking error somewhere, as this match is also on the card for next week as well. But it should be on the card for next week. Okay. Okay, I've got a slight problem now. I'm going to have to fix that. Next week we're going to see Brian Cage actually in singles action as well, so that's been pretty cool. Brian Cage next week will be taking on John Cena one-on-one. Essentially, the idea behind that one from PJW is you've got two guys that are very, very strong. Of course, Cena is very strong. He's broken a lot of the records in the WWE gym for deadlift and squats and bench press and stuff like that. So, reason why PJW has put that match together. But this is a very important one in the tag team rankings. Of course, we know that the Mustache Mountain are the #1 contenders for the tag team championships after winning back-to-back matches the last couple of weeks. Of course, defeating the Sumerian Death Squad, and last week defeating Dynasty as well. We've seen who else have we seen? We've seen the Freebirds get a victory over Los Matadors in a dark match last week, and this is the first appearance of both of these teams. Next week we're going to see the Hardys. They are, of course, the Mayhem Tag Team Champions in action, and they'll be taking on the Wolves in a tag team match. So the Wolves got back-to-back matches. And you know what? If they win this match and they win that match against the Hardys next week, that'll definitely put them top of the rankings, and they'll force their way into the championship picture as well. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how this plays out, because PJW's done a good job of getting all of his tag teams on the card. But talking of dark matches, as I just did a minute ago, we've had a couple here this evening, as normal. The first one was a victory for Jerry Lynn over Raven, which is pretty good. And we've also seen a fatal four-way where Albert has defeated Mark Henry, Colt Cabana, and Tatanka. So those will be added onto the rankings. which I'm sure will be very good for Albert, actually. And that's the only thing with dark matches at the moment we're a little bit sort of worried about, is that we're using dark matches for some of the more basic wrestlers, the ones that are not really going to get on the cards very often. So we're doing a lot of fatal four-ways and so forth to try and squeeze them in, but it means that they're picking up a hell of a lot of ranking points, doesn't it? So it's interesting. We'll have to see how that pans out, and if it does become too much of a... If it does become too overpowered for people, then we'll have to sort of amend the ranking system somehow, change the points maybe. You already only get half points, so although Albert did win a Fatal 4, which is normally worth 20, he is only going to get 10 points for that, as David Richards sending Elgin to the outside. And what Richards going to do here is dived, oh my god, straight over the top of Brian Cage. That was insane, diving over the top of Brian Cage, landing on top of Michael Elgin. What a dive that was. And talking of cracking moments in this SWE universe, make sure that you have watched the Second City Throwdown pay-per-view that was uploaded a couple of days ago. My god. Oh my god. The main event, the end of the main event was just insane. I've never seen audacity like it from anybody in SWE, but it was amazing. Definitely go back and at least check out that main event. It was really, really good. So yeah, we will see these guys in singles competition every now and again as well. Of course, Michael Elgin picked up a victory a couple of weeks ago, 1-on-1 against Taz. So he's already looking pretty good in this universe mode. And like I said, Brian Cage next week has a singles match against John Cena. And yeah, if they pick up the tag team win here as well, the Unbreakable Machines, then they're going to be looking pretty strong rankings-wise. Referee getting quite high on the count out here. And that is bad. Okay, we are not going to end it there. We are not. You know what? We're gonna rematch that. We're gonna rematch it. Okay. That's annoying. That's a little insight into some of the crap I go through often with this game. Let's skip the entrances. Yeah, this is quite a common thing, this double count out thing. But I don't really want to cut it out because we had some really good stuff going there. That dive over the top was pretty good. So there we go. We're back with round 2. Round 1 was a draw. PJ Toby not happy with a draw between these two tag teams, and we are underway once again. Hopefully this time will be a bit better. Cider time. Ugh, lovely. Oh, I've had that cider in the fridge for a few days. I've not got around to it yet, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to record a bit of Mayhem and have me cider. That's what Monday nights are all about. Is it Monday? No, it's Tuesday today, isn't it? I have no idea what day it is. Right, first tag, and it is the team of the Unbreakable effing Machines, as Michael Elgin dropping a double axe handle across the arm of Davey Richards. Now gets on the back of Elgin into a German suplex. Yeah, so that's quite a common thing, that double count out, and it happens when they get into a corner. They're not got the AI to really go around the corner. They just keep throwing their opponents into the ring steps or the post or so forth. It's not too bad if we're on this side of the ring, the near side, but on the far side with the ring steps in the way, it can become quite a problem. Big knee to the face there by Michael Elgin, in control here of Eddie Edwards. Edwards, though, there he is with a jawbreaker. Into a front chancery, big uppercut. Edwards now into a Falcon Arrow. Showing his own strength here. Elgin's not a small man to be lifted like that. Oh. Edwards is dropping a knee in the back of the head of Elgin, and once again dropping another knee in the back of the head, and Edwards stalking the grounded Elgin. What's he looking for here? Springboard dropkick to the back of Michael Elgin. All of a sudden, the American Wolves are in control of this match, but can they prolong the control? There's a lion salt by Eddie Edwards as well. Elgin fighting back though. Seated with the big punch in the gut. Now gets on the back of Eddie Edwards, and there's a big German suplex folding Eddie in half. And dropping the elbows. Pretty good attire actually for the Unbreakable effing Machines here. Suits the Mayhem arena pretty well. I have had a fair few comments about the colour of the mat, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. And I don't know. You'd have to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I quite like it now. Now that I've done a few episodes of each, I quite like it. The one that is the most garish for me is probably Throwdown, that dark blue. Throwdown is very, very blue, and I don't know whether that was a little bit too blue maybe, but this I quite like, actually. I think the Mayhem one works quite nicely. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's up to you guys. If you prefer to see it with a white mat maybe or black, then let me know and we'll have to get that changed. Eddie Edwards there with the elbows to the top of the head of Brian Cage. Now bringing Cage back up to his feet. And there's a shining wizard. As Eddie Edwards up on the middle rope now, probably celebrating a little bit prematurely as Brian Cage is back up on his feet now, sending Eddie Edwards into the corner. And of course Brian Cage is not actually a man, he is actually a machine. And there he is now, buckle bomb on Eddie in the corner. Yeah, maybe Eddie should not have been up in the corner taunting, should he really? Seems to have backfired a touch, doesn't it really now? God, upstairs are so loud today. Banging around everything up there. Brian Cage, back elbow. Big knee to the gut and a discus lariat folding Eddie in half. Could have decapitated him with that clothesline. Eddie forcing Cage away as he grabbed the hold of the legs, maybe looking for maybe a deadlift powerbomb or something along them sort of lines. Now Eddie just needs to continue the assault on Brian Cage. Brings Cage back up to his feet and there's a chop into a drop kick. Now springboards off into a jumping clothesline. Edwards now making his way up to the top rope. Double foot stomp as well on Cage. Oh, but this might have just switched the machine the Cage is on. Catching the leg into the dragon screw. But Eddie Edwards fighting back. Some good action between these two teams, actually. I think Eddie Edwards may have gone for a chop block there and completely missed Cage. And Cage catches him now. Oh, look at that. That was just brutal. He caught him with a gut buster and just launched him over the top in a very lackadaisical version of the fall-away slam. Cage now dropping boots on Eddie Edwards as well. Yeah, Cage could really, you never know, a victory here and then maybe a victory next week against Cena. That would be a massive one for Brian Cage if he can pick up the win against Cena. But that would really throw him high at the rankings as well. Again, a win here for the Unbreakable Machines would do wonders for Elgin as well, who would have 2 victories against these names so far in this universe mode as well. But yeah, matches tonight, I've not gone through that yet, have I? Next up after this one, we are going to see Terry Funk in action for the first time in SWE as he takes on New Jack. That's going to be brutal, isn't it? After that, we're also going to see Sting taking on Booker T as there's a pin by Eddie Edwards, but Michael Elgin's there to break it up. Yeah, Sting one-on-one with Booker T. We have got a triple threat match between the Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, and Lex Luger. And then our main event is going to be the 5 moves of doom himself, John Cena, taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin in a match that, of course, is all about the rankings points. Edwards back up top once again. Another big double foot stomp on Brian Cage. He needs to go for another pin, though, I think. Has Eddie Edwards just been given Zack Ryder's moveset? I think he has, you know. And there's a pin once again by Edwards. 1, 2. Richards has got Elgin. It's only enough for a 2 count. Brian Cage kicked out. Almost a victory for the American Wolves. And what a win that would be for them as well. I just sort of felt like Unbreakable Machines would have this here tonight. Just because I feel like they're a bit more of a... Well, I think their 2 guys individually are quite strong. Cage dropping the elbows on the back of Eddie Edwards. Now in for a pin. 1, 2... Again, only a 2 count, but we're getting to that point in the match now where a victor does not seem too far away. Brian Cage raking at the face of Eddie Edwards. Now brings him middle of the ring. Oh, a brutal backdrop that was. I don't know what Cage's finishing maneuver is on this. Was it the discus lariat we saw earlier on? I'm not sure, actually. The thing is, when you watch a lot of indie wrestling, not a huge amount of people. Like, a lot of people have signature maneuvers, but it wouldn't necessarily say finishing maneuvers. It's not like WWE where everybody finishes a match based on their normal... Oh, look at that. Cheeky maneuver there by Elgin, knocking Eddie Edwards off the top rope. Yeah, in indie wrestling, it's not a... No, you don't have a rigid finisher as such. You have a lot of signature maneuvers that can finish a match, but it's not about having that fixed move that you have to use. Like Cena, I don't know the last time that Cena won a match without using... Oh my god, look at that fall-away slam into a bridge. That's nice. Yeah, the last time that Cena won a match not using a an attitude adjustment. As David Richards trying to get a hold of Brian Cage. Now Cage catches Richards into a belly-to-belly, launching him across the ring. And Brian Cage is just being a machine, taking down both members of the Wolves. But now Eddie has Cage up on his shoulders, spins him round onto his back, into that stunner. Package stunner. Oh, going for the boot to the face, but again, the machine that is Cage with a dragon screw. We saw that earlier on as well. Now Eddie Edwards is fighting back, and it's very back and forth this match at the moment now. We're at the point in the match where somebody's going to have to do something to finish it off, and that could be it. That Shining Wizard. There's the pin by Edwards. 1, 2. Richards takes out Elgin, and there we go. The Unbreakable machines are defeated by the American Wolves. American Wolves' first appearance in the Universe mode, getting themselves a nice wedge of points, and that's also going to negate Michael Elgin's victory a couple of weeks ago. Of course, he got 5 points for beating Taz one-on-one, but he's now going to lose that 5 points for losing this match. Both Edwards and Richards are both going to get 5 points added to their ranking points, and of course they're also going to get 10 points added to the tag team rankings as well. So that is putting Wolves in a very strong position, and you know what? A victory next week against the Hardys would almost guarantee them a future championship shot, wouldn't it, really? But a very good match, and of course we had the little dodgy bit at the beginning with the double count out, but I didn't really want to lose that. I think we did pretty well up until that point, and there was some interesting stuff that was done in the ring and so forth, so I just thought I'd let you see some of the outtakes, you know. And here you see Richards just blocking off Elgin, just literally ran in, shoulder blocked him. Elgin does not go down, of course, a much bigger man, but it was just enough to give Eddie Edwards that couple of seconds extra to get the pinfall over Brian Cage, and it's not looking good for Cage then. His first appearance in SWE ends in a loss. And the American Wolves, a team that was very limited use in Season 1 of the Universe mode, now get themselves in a pretty decent position. Very decent position. It's going to put them very, very close to Mustache Mountain near the top of those rankings because of that victory. I think they're the only tag team apart from Mustache Mountain who have got a victory in Mayhem now. And here we go. It's time to put the kids to bed. You don't want them watching Terry Funk versus New Jack. This is going to be brutal. And here we go. Now, of course, this is a hardcore match. Of course it would be. Why would it not be a hardcore match? And we get a chance to see Terry Funk for the first time in an SWE ring. A man who I wouldn't put it past going for the Hardcore Championship at some point. He's one of the men that maybe I missed out on Throwdown. I did say, of course, at the Second City Throwdown pay-per-view a few days ago that I thought I had all the legends of hardcore wrestling, but Terry Funk is someone that I may have missed out on. And you know what? We are at some point. I do have plans at some point. Once we get this Universe mode up and running, maybe get it a little bit further. And we're going to do some specials. And I'm thinking one of the specials has really got to be a King of the Deathmatch tournament style thing. If you look at the guys on my roster, Abdullah the Butcher, Bruiser Brody, Sabu, Haku, Cactus Jack. Over here on Mayhem, of course, you've got Terry Funk, you've got New Jack, you've got Rob Van Dam, you've got Bam Bam Bigelow, you've got Taz, you've got Dusty Rhodes, I suppose, Raven, the Sandman. Again, a lot of really good hardcore wrestlers, and to have some sort of King of the Deathmatch style tournament, just as a little bit special. It wouldn't necessarily be for any reward or anything like that, but it would be a chance to crown someone as that first ever champion. And we'll probably do it as like a, I wouldn't necessarily say annual, but we'll have it as like a tournament that we will repeat as time goes on. And I'm sure we've probably done this sort of thing in the past, but obviously as far as I'm concerned now, the Universe mode is going to start long-term as of the beginning of Season 2. Season 2 is where everything is now going to be tracked. And I am going to be doing another blogger page, I think, that's going to add a little bit of a few extra things. Stuff like an alumni page where we'll keep track of people's rankings if they're no longer in the Universe mode. Maybe defunct championships as well. And again, the history of maybe Best of the Super Juniors, King of the Deathmatch, and we'll do a few other tournaments, maybe a King of the Ring tournament as well we can bring into place. So there's a lot of stuff that me and PJTW want to try and bring in the future that we can start doing, and it'll give a few of these guys a little bit something extra to go for. Maybe not necessarily a championship, but a title as such. Maybe King Neville can officially be known as King Neville. So here we go, New Jack versus Terry Funk, Extreme Rules. Let's see how this gets on. Of course, New Jack in a very strong position at the moment. He picked up a victory last week in a triple threat match against Raven and the Sandman. So he's looking in a very, very strong position right now. A victory here against Terry Funk would put him even higher at the rankings. And I think PJ Toby would have to agree that he would be someone quite close to the front of the line for that Hardcore Championship. At the moment, though, there is a Hardcore Championship match planned in for the pay-per-view. No real reason behind that championship match at the moment. It's more down to it's there because we sort of want to see the match. In fairness, I'm not going to announce it yet because, you know, we're still 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view. Things can change. A win here for New Jack, and all of a sudden he could be in a very strong position, maybe even join that match. But I think PJ Tovey had a match in mind which he really wanted to see, and I agree with him. It's a cracking match, but a win here for New Jack, and yeah, like I say, would have to really consider changing that maybe. But you can't write off the hardcore legend that is Mr. Terry Funk. New Jack now taking it away, and then Terry Funk fighting back and getting that table back from New Jack. And I'm glad New Jack chopped that, because the amount of times that can happen. That's the one thing that still is a little bit bugged, I think, reversal-wise, is just the weapons back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's just a bit of a problem for me, and it has become an issue. But it's not a major problem. We'll get by. And still, one thing I'd like to see, and I know I've mentioned this quite a few times now as well, is in an Extreme Rules match, if a table's pulled out, I want to see them use it as a table rather than use it as a blunt weapon, because there's no point, if they're just going to swing it, they might as well have got a chair out, or they might as well have got a kendo stick anyway. Terry Funk now bringing New Jack up to a kneeling base and dropping an axe handle into the back. Oh, and straight into the ring steps. And like I said, this one's going to be brutal. I'll be surprised if there is no blood by the end of this one. And it does show a great death, actually. I was talking up how great my hardcore division was on over in Throwdown, but you can't take away from PJ Toby. I think he's got a cracking hardcore division as well. The only thing I'm a little bit annoyed about with the draft, I think both Throwdown and Mayhem both got really good hardcore divisions. And I think that, well, PJ Toby got a fantastic cruiserweight division on Adrenaline, but mine on Octane is a little bit still up in the air now. I might be being a little bit harsh. I think mine might get a little bit better after the first pay-per-view, because I have utilised the likes of Noam Dar, Mark Andrews, Jack Gallagher, and there's somebody else as part of the European tournament, haven't I? Really, rather than using them as cruiserweight. So it's not bad, actually. It's not bad at all. But I still think there's a few more people that we could use to maybe improve that roster. As time goes on, we might see a couple of changes in that roster to try and bring more your conventional cruiserweights in. But we'll wait and see what happens on that as well. It's again, it's all ideas moving forward, and nothing will come in unless you guys, of course, get to know about it. But of course, if you do want to see exactly who is on the rosters, there is the link always in the blogger pages. The rankings will not be being updated at this point in time, because I am currently in Greece when this video is being recorded. So no, I'm not when it's being recorded. When it's uploaded, I'm going to be in Greece. So yeah, I'll do all the rankings when I get back. I'm going to get back at the beginning of July, so I'll bulk do all the rankings from then, and you'll be able to see exactly how people are and where they are at the moment. I wanted to do it all beforehand, and I thought it's a bit stupid doing that way, because then if you look to the rankings, you'll get a bit of a spoiler of what's going to happen moving forward. New Jack now with the big right hands taking Terry Funk down. Dropping the boot in the face as well. Terry Funk there with the arm drag takedown now on New Jack, and a big fight on the outside between these two. We didn't think the ring was going to contain them. Look at that, straight into the ring steps once again there by Terry Funk, and I would love to see Terry Funk face off against Cactus Jack at some point in this universe mode, and like I said, that probably will happen at some point if we do go for a King of the Deathmatch style tournament. Terry Funk now, big elbow across the face of New Jack, and we're back in the ring. Of course, this is a hardcore match, but falls only count inside the ring. As Terry Funk now locking in the submission on New Jack. Is this going to be enough to finish off the original gangster New Jack? Of course, Terry Funk utilizing the submission hold he's known well for. Well, he normally goes to the spinning toe holds, doesn't he? This is more of a Indian Deathlock style submission, but New Jack fights free. Terry Funk fighting it back. Knee in the gut, boot in the chest, and again, just, oh, the strikes are brutal, taking New Jack down. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count on the brink of a 3 there. A real brink of a 3. New Jack now taking Terry Funk up into an aeroplane spin, rocking some wrestling maneuvers. Good old New Jack. I know wrestling too. That's a reference to, I think I said something in the draft about a DVD, an indie DVD I had between, I think it was New Jack, Rob Van Dam and Sabu in a triple threat match in an indie show in the early 2000s. After, it must have been a bit late in the early 2000s, must have been. It was when Sabu, Rob Van Dam and New Jack were obviously not working. I don't think New Jack ever did work for WWE, did he? It's not the sort of man they like to have on their books very often. Terry Funk going up high. High risk for him, but he's all about high risk as Terry Funk. Not quite jumping off balconies as New Jack has done in the past, like, but you know. New Jack going, Terry Funk there with a springboard pinfall. Only a 2 count still. Elbow in the head. And now Terry Funk making his way to the outside. Maybe looking for a little bit of a friend to help him through this match. He has got himself a ladder, which again is probably going to be used as a blunt object. But he slides it into the ring. Put it around your head and spin. Nope. Right in the back of New Jack, and now in the ankle of New Jack as well. Oh, clever move. Trying to attack the leg of New Jack with a ladder. New Jack taking the ladder away from Terry Funk, straight in the face. So Terry Funk was trying to work on the legs of New Jack, potentially maybe weakening him for another submission. But then New Jack just now right against the back of the head, and again the back of the head of Terry Funk with the ladder. And again the back of the head, and New Jack, this brutal New Jack, right in the back of the head for a 4th time, but Funk's back up. Funk's taking a lot of hits to the head. I don't think it affects him too much now. Oh my god, New Jack taking Terry Funk up into a stand-in style muscle buster. Dropping an elbow as well. There's the pin. 1, 2. And oh god, it's close to a 3 once again. These two guys actually putting on a really good wrestling match. There's been a few weapons involved, but showing a lot of variation in their styles. New Jack once again taking Terry Funk up on his shoulders. Death Valley Driver. Is New Jack going to pick up a win against Terry Funk as well? There's the pin. 1, 2, and 3. And New Jack with another victory. 2 wins in 2 weeks. Triple threat win last week, and then a win here against Terry Funk. Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to have a discussion with PJ Toby, because in my opinion, after those 2 big wins, New Jack needs to be in this match at the pay-per-view. Whether he replaces the man who's already penciled in or joins him, I'm thinking hardcore, I think you should join him. I think we're going to make that a triple threat match. And you know what, I think I can announce that now, why not? Bam Bam Bigelow defending his hardcore championship against New Jack, and the man that PJ Tiver really wanted to see clash with Bam Bam Bigelow in Taz. So Bam Bam Bigelow versus Taz versus New Jack for the hardcore championship will happen in a couple of weeks' time at the next Mayhem pay-per-view. We've not named the next Mayhem pay-per-view yet. That's PJTW's job, and he's not done it yet. You give a guy one thing to do, and he doesn't do it. But there we go. And there we go. There is the Death Valley Driver, which finished Terry Funk off, and I'd say it's a weird one as such, but it's a surprise for me, that one. Funk is in action next week in a dark match against JBL and Dusty Rhodes in a triple threat. So he'll desperately need those points to try and get himself back on track. But yeah, I'm thinking a hardcore tournament at some point would be very good, but obviously it'll have to happen when I get back off my holiday, so we'll be at least one pay-per-view for every single brand by the time we get around to doing some sort of special like that. But there we go, New Jack is victorious. And here is our next match of the evening. Booker T, who lost last week, of course, to Lex Luger, takes on Sting, who won last week against the Ultimate Warrior. So, big match for both these guys. And here we go. So this should be interesting then, because Booker T is now currently on 95 points after losing last week. Sting currently on 105 points after winning last week. So if Sting wins here, he'll be up at 110 and Booker will be down on 90. So that's the way the ranking system works. All of a sudden, Booker T is 4 singles victories away from Sting if this happens tonight. So it's a big one. It's do or die, really. It's double or quit. No, it's not even double or quits. It's more than double or quits, isn't it? No, it is double or quits, because Booker T is currently 10 points behind Sting, but he has a chance to make it equal here tonight. And Sting has a chance to really pull away. And if Sting does win here, that'll put him on, like I say, 110. Which will put him quite high up. Now, I don't think anybody else so far has got 2 singles victories, of course. Shawn Michaels is on 110. No, sorry, no, Sting's on 110 already. Yeah, Sting's on 110 already because he won a main event last week. So Sting's on 110, Booker T's on 95, so Sting's 15 points ahead. So Sting is currently equal points with Shawn Michaels. So if he wins here this evening, he will be top of the rankings on his own because, yeah, like I say, nobody's got that many points as yet. Well, I say top of the rankings bar champions. I'll say that. So here we go then, Booker T. Big night for him then. Big night. But of course, the icon Sting. He knows that he can get himself in the championship picture. We've got Brock Lesnar versus Shawn Michaels lined up for the pay-per-view for the Mayhem Championship. But after that pay-per-view, we're going to be looking for someone big to go after the belt. And who knows, after the 4 weeks of action, Sting could be very high up in the rankings. And he could be guaranteeing himself a shot at that Mayhem Championship. Of course, not really utilised too much in the original season of the universe. But now we've got a big chance to really bring Sting to the forefront. And I think Sting can do it. Why not? I think, I don't know, let's say, it's been a bit of a tricky one at the moment. It's like with Mayhem as well. There's people like, in the first season of the Universe mode, you will have seen that both myself and PJTW almost pushed our own favourite wrestlers on you as such, whereas now we're allowing the Universe mode to do a lot of the work for us, as we're making sure that everybody's getting action every month. So everyone gets at least one match every single month. That's the way we're doing it. Whether that's a dark match or not is yet to be seen, but everybody should be getting a little bit of action every single month. And that's going to mean that the ranking system is going to be in place, and people are going to start to pull forward. And like I said, with what happened at Throwdown, I'm not going to give you any results, but basically I had 2 triple threat matches, and the winners of those 2 triple threat matches will go on to fight for the #1 contendership on Throwdown this week. However, they're not necessarily the 2 people you would have selected to be in a #1 contendership match. I'm not saying they're not good wrestlers, but they might not have been the 2 that you would want to see, maybe. I don't know. I might be a little bit harsh, but there's 2 guys there who I'm not necessarily too interested in, but that's the way the Universe mode works. And the thing is, I don't really want to change it, because that's the best thing about it. It's if I start making matches to end the way that I want them to end, that takes away the enjoyment for me. And if I'm not enjoying it, it's pointless me doing it, to be fair to you. I mean, I love the fact that you guys have been really interactive and given me some great comments over the last few weeks since this new universe mode started. But yeah, I really want to make sure that I'm enjoying it as well, because that's the main thing when I'm recording it. Because if it becomes a chore, then I think it comes across in my commentary, and that's never a good thing if I sound peed off the whole way through. But yeah, I'd say it's good. It's like when it had the excitement and surprise, just like what happened, like I said earlier on, at the end of Second City Showdown, our last pay-per-view. It was just such a great ending that I just completely marked out for it. I don't think I've marked out that much for real wrestling endings in a long time, let alone a really computer game. But there you go. So I would put my my money on this one on Sting, but you never know. You never know. Booker T has still got a chance. Booker T now with a stroke there. Of course, a maneuver used by that man. What's his name? What's that man's name? Jeff Jarrett. That's his name. We haven't had Jeff Jarrett in our roster yet, have we? And not one of my favourite wrestlers, I must admit, but somebody who could fill a hole at some point. He could be a bit of a filler. Maybe Jeff Jarrett with his Global Force Wrestling Invasion, which is essentially what he's done to TNA. Literally, I don't know if any of you watch TNA, but from what I've not watched an episode in a long time. I've been reading the results, though, and all the tapings results. And as far as I can tell, Jeff Jarrett has got back into TNA, and essentially is now using TNA to put Global Force Wrestling on TV every week. Literally, I read some tapings a few weeks back, and like 3 Global Force Wrestling championships were defended, but not a single TNA championship was defended. I'm sat there thinking, what's the bloody point? What is the reason behind this? It just made no sense to me whatsoever, but there you go. That is TNA in a nutshell, as Sting now taking Booker T up into a tombstone pile driver. Is he going to go for the pin? He does go for the pin eventually. A bit of a slow pin, you know. Trying to build some momentum there, Sting. Trying to build some I'm losing words. My brain not work. Right, we could see a Scorpion Death Drop here, and this could be the end of Booker T. Not just in this match, but... oh, no. Booker T fighting back. I was going to say not just in this match, but for a chunk of time ahead, because he's going to have to do a lot to try and get his ranking points back up. At this rate, Booker T is going to be putting in a dodgy tag team at some point. Where's Goldust? Is Goldust on this roster? Where is Goldust? He might be on Adrenaline, though, you know. The Golden Truth might be on Adrenaline. Of course, Golden Truth no longer tagged him in real life, but there you go. What PJ Tucker really wanted to do, if he wanted something to do with Booker T, he could literally bring in Stevie Ray, and we could bring back Harlem Heat, which would be a pretty decent tag team. And the only problem would be is that we would need an alternative attire probably for Booker T, which I don't really have the core space for at the moment. We literally have we have 99 cores being used at this point in time, because I need one floating at the moment for a few things that we're doing, which you may have seen, of course, on Adrenaline a few days ago. No spoilers, no spoilers, but definitely watch Adrenaline. That was a big moment that's going to define the way that Adrenaline goes forward for the next few months. And it started at... ooh, what the hell is that? Ooh, oh, I know what that is. It started at Adrenaline the other day. Sorry, I've just picked up my bottle of cider, and there's some how do I say this without sounding wrong? There's some thick white liquid on the back of my bottle of cider, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I'm pretty sure my my pot of coleslaw leaked in my shopping bag. That's what it was. But it just felt really weird. Luckily, my cider does not taste like coleslaw. Sting now in firm control of this match. You'd think that he just needs to get that one Scorpion Death Drop, but Booker T's back up on his feet, and you never know. If Booker T just catches the Sting with a bookend, maybe he could steal the victory. And there's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Sting kicked out on the brink of 3. Booker T almost getting himself back up to 100 ranking points there. That's going to be the sort of level point, I think. That's going to be the area that everyone's going to want to stay ahead. Everyone's going to want more wins than losses, but of course it's not going to be possible for everybody. We have actually had a trade as well. I forgot to mention that. After every pay-per-view, I think I might have mentioned it last week actually. After every pay-per-view, the brand who completed the pay-per-view will have a chance to make one trade with another brand, as long as it's mutually agreed between myself and PJ Tovey. And they're also allowed to make 2 core changes. Now, PJ Tovey has traded Neville from Mayhem to Adrenaline, and in return, he has brought Rhino to Mayhem, which of course is going to be the better way around for him. Of course, Rhino went to Adrenaline solely because he was part of a tag team with Heath Slater. PJ Tovey's decided he no longer wants to use that tag team, so he split the 2 up. Heath Slater's staying on Adrenaline, but Rhino has moved to Mayhem. And you know what? I think Booker T might do this, you know. Booker T again, another bookend. Drops into the pin, and surely Booker T's going to get the win. 1, 2, and 3. And Booker T does pick up the victory over Sting. So that's going to put him back up to the 100 points. Of course, Sting now losing 5 points is going to drop him back down to 105, because of course he got 10 last week because his match that he won was a main event. So Sting still ahead of Booker T, but Booker T needed this because that really does change the game. And it really could have, I was going to say it could have gone either way, but in fairness, Sting had that Scorpion Death Drop lined up. Booker T fought back and just caught him straight away with a bookend. It wasn't enough to finish him off, but it was enough to weaken him sufficiently. There you go, that was the first of the bookends, I believe. Which was only enough for a 2. On the brink of a 3, though. Look how close that was. And then there was a big spine buster by Booker T, followed up by the second bookend. It's actually really, really good, the bookend. It looks more effective than what the Rock Bottom ever does, doesn't it? And of course, that's where he got it from, when he had that feud with the Rock. But yeah, he just sort of like folds him in half a bit more than the Rock ever does. The Rock was more flat on your back, whereas Booker T almost trying to hit you on your shoulders and in the back of your neck. But there we go. We're going to see it. Go on, go on. There we go. Spinneroonie time. Can you dig it, sucker? Can Booker T become the one time, I'm going to say it once, didn't you? The one-time SWE Mayhem champion in the future, who knows? Stranger things have happened in the world. Like R-Truth becoming our King of the Ring champion only a few years back. And here is our next match of the evening. It is triple threat time. Lex Luger, Randy Savage, and the Ultimate Warrior. And here we go. This will be an interesting one as well then, because I don't think we've seen... I need to put my light on now, it's got dark all of a sudden. I'm putting my lights on. No, here we go, got my lights on. Alright, we've not yet seen Savage, I don't believe. We saw Warrior last week, and Warrior lost to Sting. And we saw Luger last week, and Luger defeated Booker T. So at the moment, Luger is in a good position to be looking to build upon those points here tonight. But I think Warrior and Savage will definitely be in a strong position as well. These 3 guys all potentially could be Mayhem television champions. No reason why not. And talking of the television champion, we've not seen Finn Balor at all yet this month, have we? He is lined up to face Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view for the television championship. Really good match PJ Tovey's put together there. But yeah, we haven't seen Seth Rollins at all yet, actually. We might see. I might do a little bit of Seth Rollins next week because, like I said, we've got that match that I seem to have duplicated on the sheet. So, yeah, we need to probably put something a little bit different in there. And I'm thinking maybe Rollins against somebody would be a good way to go, actually. Maybe Rollins versus Michaels? No, Michaels is in a match next week already. Our main event next week is actually going to be Randy Savage versus Shawn Michaels. We've also got Johnny Mundo. We've got Johnny Mundo versus Neville next week, actually. Although I've just told you that Neville's left, so Neville, that match is going to have to change as well. So we've got a few things we need to change. Maybe Johnny Mundo versus Seth Rollins. Yeah, I like that. Mundo versus Rollins. I'm going to put that in now. Mundo versus Rollins. And then we've got that tag team match that I need to delete as well because it's already been happened tonight, of course. I don't know how I've done that. I don't know how I've done that. And what match can we have next week then? What can we do here on Mayhem? Just thinking of some of the good stuff that's happened. Based on some of the stuff that has happened, maybe there's some other stuff that we should do. Rob Van Dam's already booked in for a match at the pay-per-view. Who else has had a good start? Pentagon. Okay, we're not seeing anything of Pentagon. He did get a win on his first episode against Johnny Mundo, and we haven't seen him since, so let's put Pentagon in a match next week. So this is how wrestling booking happens. You just sort of stare at a piece of paper until just things happen. Who can Pentagon Jr. face off against next week? There's just so many really, really good names on this roster that I just can't decide half the time. You know what? What we're going to do? We're going to put Tommy End in a singles match. Pentagon Jr. versus Tommy End next week on Mayhem. That is good. I like that. So next week on Mayhem, we've got a main event of Savage versus Michaels. We've got Pentagon Jr. versus Tommy End. We've got Johnny Mundo versus Seth Rollins. We've got John Cena versus Brian Cage. We've got the Hardy Boys versus the American Wolves. Next week's Mayhem is looking stacked. It really is. But tonight's still pretty stacked as well. Look at these three guys in the ring right now. And not only that, but we've also got a main event for you still this evening. John Cena versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. John Cena is a debutant in SWE altogether. Stone Cold Steve Austin, a man who didn't get a lot of action in Season 1. And again, I think the fact we've gone for 4 brands, we've split the people up a bit more, I think is very beneficial for us, I think it's going to help the universe mode, and I think it's going to help us as well to try and make sure everyone gets used. And I think that's the best thing we've done, is split the rosters more, but also we're pre-booking all the shows. We're pencil booking all the shows. So of course if things change or people get high rankings, then of course they will take other positions. But we're making sure that everyone gets a little bit of time in the ring. And of course the ranking system is just going to help it out as well. I think basically what I've done and what I've tried to do anyway is take all of the pros from Season 1 and get rid of all of the cons of Season 1 and bring them all together into hopefully a much better product that you guys are still enjoying watching. Because of course we're into week 3 now. And you always find with a new universe mode, the draft always gets a lot of views, as ours has right now. It's got thousands of views. Probably my highest quickly viewed video. I think it's not my highest viewed video at the moment. That's about 15k views that's got on that. So yeah, it's not the highest viewed video at the moment, but yeah, and it sort of starts to tail away. The more episodes you get into a playlist, it always seems to tail away a little bit. So yeah, I think at this point in time we're doing pretty well. I think what we probably will do is maybe we will do another draft. We're probably gonna I don't know. We're probably gonna try and hold this universe mode the whole way to 2K18. Then we'll do a draft when 2K18 comes out. That'd be good, I think. But yeah, if you're still watching now, then thank you very much. It's obviously hoping we've got some new subs in there, some new fans in there, and hopefully you guys are sticking around, because I don't want to see this one tail off again, because it got to a point in the old universe mode where we were dropping down to maybe 30 or 40 views on a video, whereas I'm hoping to try and get over 100 views on each of these episodes, which is the best way forward, I think. And I'm hoping that the content is matched as well. I don't want to get views just for the sake of it. I'm hoping the content has improved. Of course, we've made a few minor changes that I think have made the production of the show a little bit better as well. And hopefully, by the fact we've drafted everyone, means that there should be someone there for everybody to watch. And if there's not someone here that you want to see, then please let us know who we're missing, and we'll try and bring them in for you. We've had a few suggestions already. I had Liv Morgan suggested, but I can't remember off the top of my head who suggested that, so I apologise. But we are going to look to bring Liv Morgan in at some point. There's a few names that I want to bring in as well, but as time goes on, we will have to we'll have to try and bring those in as we go, I think. Savage now bringing Luger back up to his feet, and looked like he was lining up for a pile driver there, but Warrior breaking it free, now taking Savage up into the Gorilla Press and dropping the splash on the back, but Luger's back up, and Luger breaking the pin straight away. He saw the danger was there. Luger gets her on the back now, belly to back slam on the Ultimate Warrior. See, Luger's in control now. He's got both guys down, but not really taking advantage of the situation. Warrior now taking Luger up into a Gorilla Press as well. Warrior's looking pretty damn good here tonight. I'm liking this new Warrior. Obviously, he got the disappointment of a loss last week, but a win here would definitely change that for him. Of course, it's a triple threat, so this is worth 10 points as well. So this will put him back up on to 105 points, so it'll be ahead of that dreaded 100 mark. And no one's going to want to be on that 100 mark. Everyone's going to want to be above that. Especially if you're an upper mid-card. You're going to want to be higher than that, aren't you? As Macho Man now lining up Warrior. But Luger's in now, taking Warrior out with that big clothesline. Savage now getting a hold of Luger. Takes him up into a shin breaker. A slamming the arm of Luger into the mat as well. There's the pin by Savage. Warrior's not going to be able to break it, is he? Nope, it's only a 2 count anyway. See, the one problem I think that Savage might have in this match is that you've got to try and take your advantages when you have them. And the problem is with Savage is that his finishing maneuver takes quite a lot of time to hit. So it's going to be difficult for him, I think, to get that finishing maneuver hit before somebody makes their way back into the ring. There's the pin now by Warrior. 2 count only on Lex Luger, Superman's adversary. Warrior now just slamming the knee of Luger into the mat once again, going for the pin. I don't think it's quite going to be enough, but Savage is there to break it up anyway. Savage now drop kicks Warrior over the top. Savage, you need to concentrate on Luger here. Concentrate on no. Savage, why are you going to the outside, Savage? You pleb. Backbreaker by Savage. Luger now send him straight into the ring post. That was Luger being savage there. Wee, I made a pun. Luger now bringing Warrior back up as well. Now he's going to take a little... No, he thought he was going to take a little trip to ring post town, but evidently not. Savage, though, fighting his way back now, catching Luger with a running clothesline. And this match is now spilled to the outside. We weren't expecting this one to spill to the outside, really. 3 sort of more classical wrestlers spent a lot of their time, obviously, inside the ring. Ooh, power slam there by Warrior on the outside on Savage and really doing some damage to each other here. You can see how much this 10 ranking points means to everyone. As now Savage and Luger... Or should I say Warrior and Luger in the ring. Wow. What a German suplex by Warrior. There's the pin. Savage is down the outside. Has Luger been the architect of his own downfall? No, it's only a 2 count. Warrior bringing Luger back up to his feet. Straight into the corner as Savage re-enters the ring. Now, I think it's in Savage's interest here just to back away and allow this to happen, because this is even going to do quite a bit of damage to Warrior as well. He's going to drop back first from that height. It's going to hurt both of them. And you see Savage now looking to take advantage of the situation. Dropping Warrior over his back. Big elbow to the forehead as well. And here we go, Savage. Is he looking to line up Luger here? No, I think he was looking to line up Warrior, and Warrior very wisely slid out of the ring. Luger, though, with the DDT. Rolling Savage over. This is a pin now, and Warrior's down on the outside. Oh, and Luger almost getting a free count. That would be very interesting, wouldn't it, really? If Luger was to pick up a victory here, he'd end up on quite a lot of points. Quite a lot higher than everyone else as well. Luger now takes Savage up into a torture rack. Warrior is still on the outside. Is he going to get there in time? No, he doesn't get there in time. And Savage had tapped. Savage taps out and Luger gets another victory. Wow, Luger. My God, Luger. I'm not a fan of Lex Luger at all, I must admit, but he got a singles victory last week and he got a triple threat victory here this evening. He's now up on 115 ranking points. He's going to be in a very strong position when month 2 begins here, you know. A very strong position. Very, very, very peculiar. I'm interested where PJ Toby goes with this, to be honest with you. I really am interested to see where he goes with this, because, again, I'm not quite sure that Luger is at the top of his list of favourites, but you can't deny the results. And maybe he's going to have to get some sort of opportunity to prove what he can do. As you can see there, Savage tapped out just as Warrior got there. And Luger is probably the best in this universe mode at the moment. He's got 2 massive victories. I don't think anybody else has won a triple threat in a singles match so far. Oh no, they have, of course. If you look at Throwdown, of course you look at Luke Harper maybe. He's done a very good job, hasn't he? Okay. Main event time. And here is that main event of the evening. An SWE debut for John Cena as he takes on the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And we're ready to go. Didn't have to cut any of that loading screen out at all, did I? It's my John Cena music impression. Yeah, like I say, he's not been part of our universe mode so far. I'm a little bit surprised that PJ Toby picked him, let alone gave him a main event position, but I suppose at the same time you can't deny that he is he's a good wrestler, you know. I think he's always been a little bit harshly treated, especially over the last few years. If you look at WWE as a whole over the last couple of years, I think you'll have to admit that John Cena has been part of some of the best matches they've had. If you look at his couple of matches against AJ Styles, as well as a few others as well. If you look at like his United States Challenge that he had on Raw last year, again was fantastic as well. Brought the likes of Kevin Owens to the forefront, and that was a fantastic match. A really good match against Sami Zayn as well during that. And he gets a bit of a tough break because of his character. But I think his in-ring ability is not that bad, to be honest with you. I think he can go. Of course, he's currently out of the company for a while, and I think that helps him a lot as well. Because it's not like, I'm not going to say I missed John Cena while he's been away, but at the same time, I'll say that when he does come back and he's not been around for a while, you can sort of tolerate him a lot more. And he's pretty decent on the mic. He sort of acts up to his target audience, of course, the kids, but every now and again he'll say something on the sly on the mic that only, of course, the more seasoned sort of fans will understand. Like that thing he did a few years ago in that match against The Rock, where he came out on the Raw after Mania afterwards and was showing off his heel turn by dancing around the ring, just twisting his heel. Look at my heel turn. Yeah, I thought that was a quite clever little maneuver by John Cena. Like I say, I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm not his biggest detractor either. I think that, yeah, I think I've said in the past as well that I've seen this before a few times, basically. Because WWE is aimed at children, and if you've ever watched children's TV, which I have, because I've got some young nieces and nephews, you start to realise that every single episode is very similar in certain things they do. And they'll all have their own, maybe little dances, or they'll have their own music when they enter, or they'll have a catchphrase, or they'll have a certain thing that they always do. And that's because kids love repetition. They like to know what's coming next as such. So the fact that Cena always uses the same moves in the same order to finish off matches is not necessarily because he's a bad wrestler, but because he's trying to act up to that scenario. He's trying to utilise the same moves over and over again, which the kids know which one's coming next. They know it's that front drop into the five knuckle shuffle, then lining up into the attitude adjustment. They just know that's the way. But yeah, and this is a big match, this one. Both these guys making their first appearance in Season 2. And of course they both know how big this match is because it's worth 10 rankings points because it is the main event of a weekly show. So this one is going to put the other one 15 points ahead of their opponent, isn't it, really? Because, of course, you still lose 5 points for losing. So it's a big, big match, this one. Very important for both these guys if they want to get themselves into a championship picture moving forward into the next month. And I think, you know what, look at the rosters, you know. PJ Toby said to me that he thought my roster was very, my Throwdown roster was very old-fashioned and so forth. But based on tonight's episode, Sting, Luger, Savage, Warrior, Booker T, Cena, Austin. I think he's got a few people himself, but then again, next week really goes a bit more young and up and coming, doesn't it? Like I said, the Hardys versus the Wolves, Cena versus Brian Cage, Johnny Mundo versus Seth Rollins, and Pentagon Jr. versus Tommy End. Tommy End or Aleister Black, if you will, getting a singles opportunity. Not quite sure if PJ Toby would be happy with that because I think PJ Toby wants to try and keep the tag teams and the singles, but yeah, I'm giving Tommy End a singles opportunity because he's an amazing wrestler. The former Throwdown Tag Team Champion, of course, Tommy End. Yeah, he's an amazing wrestler, and I think it would be good for him to show what he can do in a singles capacity as well. Plus, that match against Pentagon Jr. next week is going to be off the hook. That was a real weird phrase that I've never used before in my entire life. I sincerely apologise for just descending into chaos there for a moment. Austin now the snap suplex on John Cena. Maybe that's why he's never changed his attire or changed his music as well, because kids like repetition. Which is probably why they're enjoying WWE. Well, I don't know. I don't think anyone's really enjoying WWE at the moment, are they? It's very... I don't know. It's very difficult to pick anything fresh in wrestling now, because everything's been done before at some sort of state. So it's very difficult to do anything fresh. But at the same time, I think the problem is Raw just overdoes everything. They should just leave things simple. As Austin, wow, stunner. There's the pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. I was gonna say, you know, I was waiting out, but I was gonna say, main events seem to be the shortest matches that we ever seem to do. They always seem to end a lot quicker than the others, and that was a case where that could have happened there. But of course, both these guys are rated quite highly, so I can imagine it's going to take quite a bit to keep the other one down. It should do anyway. I think Cena's rated 92 and Austin's rated 95, I believe. So it'll be tricky for the one of them to keep the other one down. Sorry, I had a bit of cider in the middle of that sentence for some reason. It was the best time to have cider in the middle of a sentence, isn't it, really? Austin now, big boots into the chest of Cena, and another big boot right across the neck. Bringing Cena back up to his feet. Into the corner. So Austin going for it, not very well known for his high risk maneuvers, but it looks like he may be going for a superplex. Something that he used a bit more in his early career, I believe. I think he stopped it after, of course, he had a couple of concussion issues and neck issues. Of course, it wasn't Brett, was it? Was it Owen who broke his neck? I think it might have been, I don't know, it was either Brett or Owen. I've got a feeling it was Owen. Owen Hart, who it was either Tombstone or a normal pile driver on Austin that broke his neck. I think so, anyway. And here we go, the 5-knuckle shuffle, which is quite a weird maneuver considering that the innuendo behind the phrase 5-knuckle shuffle. For a wrestler who's based majority on kids, the 5-knuckle shuffle is a bit of a rude word. As Cena now lining up, Austin takes him up into an attitude adjustment. There's the pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Austin kicks out now. It's a best 2 out of 3 submissions match. Submissions? Best 2 out of 3 finishers match. Who's going to get their finisher next? I would imagine it'd be Austin, because he's been building to it a bit longer. Now, of course, he hit a stunner quite a while ago, so he must have another one getting close. As Austin now rolling Cena over into a Boston Crab, trying to change the game, looking for a submission. This could be interesting now, because Cena's not going to want to build up any injuries moving forward, but at the same time, he knows how important these points are tonight. Cena now bringing Austin back up to a seated base and over the top of the cutter. Bringing Austin back up to his feet once again. Looking for an ace crusher, but Austin flushing Cena away into the corner. Cena fighting back with a boot and a drop kick to the back of Austin. Very back and forth at this point in time. Austin with a boot to the face of Cena. Cena taking Austin down with the arm drag. And Austin taking Cena down. Just reversal after reversal. He's got to the point in the match now where you can tell they've done a lot of research on each other. Oh, Austin with a chicken wing. Austin locks in the chicken wing submission. Well, that was outside the box a little bit. Weren't expecting that at all, but Cena rolls it through. Bringing Austin back up to his feet. Clubbing blow now, getting into an electric chair. Oh, I think Austin's neck caught that top rope, and like I said, he has had issues with neck injuries in the past. And Cena just allowing the referee to check on Austin a bit here. Austin seems to be fine. He's trying to get back up to a standing base, but Cena's there waiting for him. See now spinning Austin round into a... See, like I say, he has effectively evolved his moveset some way. As now Cena looking to initiate another 5-knuckle shuffle here. And drops it. And this could be the end of Stone Cold Steve Austin here. Cena takes him up. Cena takes him down. There's the pin. 1, 2... And no, Austin kicked out again. Wow. John Cena cannot believe what is happening here. And goes for the DDT of the leg. On the knee, of course, that Austin has got the steel brace on. Of course, that steel brace is a great thing for Austin. It secures the knee and gives it a bit more protection. But at the same time, it also puts a massive target on your body. As now Austin lining up Cena. Stunner! There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh! Oh my word! Austin cannot believe it. I can't believe it either. That was insane. How has Cena just kicked out of a second stunner? I suppose the same way that Austin kicked out of 2 attitude adjustments. Cena now with a pin. 1, 2. And Austin kicking out this match. This match, my God. PJW putting together just a random, I'd say random match. He likes to pretend he has reasons for everything, but I don't know what the reason behind this one is. But it's definitely working fantastically well. These two guys have a fantastic knack for each other in the ring as well. Austin with a gutbuster on John Cena. Who's going to be the next one to hit their next finisher maneuver? Of course, the third finisher maneuver of the match for one of these guys. Austin bringing Cena back up to his feet now into the Fez press. On a shoulder block by Cena, taking Austin down and saluting the grounded man. Here we go, shoulder tackle. A second shoulder tackle. Ducks a clothesline into the front drop. Around the back into a 5-knuckle shuffle. And the 5 moves of doom are upon us, people. There's the 5-knuckle shuffle. Now he's going to line up for... Oh, Austin been busted open as well. That 5-knuckle shuffle. A 5-knuckle shuffle for the Pokemon fans out there. Into the attitude adjustment. And surely the third one is going to be enough. 2. And oh my God. Oh my God. I cannot believe that just happened. What is going on? What is going on? Cena with a cutter over the top of Austin. Nobody wants to stay down. Austin now looking for a gut wrench, but Cena reversing it, sending Austin over the top of his back. Over the top cutter as well. The longer this match goes now, Austin's going to struggle because of the blood. And again, it's so close to a 3 count. Cena now looking to bring Austin back up, but Austin taking Cena down. There's the pin. 1, 2. Wow. These two guys know how desperate they need these points. It's make or break to start things off. It's either going to give you a massive advantage moving forward, or it's going to give you a massive undertaking to try and catch up on everybody else. Cena with a suplex on Austin. Dropping a boot in the gut as well. Cena now dragging Austin away from the ropes. Dropping the elbow into the spine. Boot on the back of the arm as well. Cena now just talking trash to the grounded Austin. Maybe not the best idea in this situation, but Cena again lining Austin up. Surely there's no way that he's going to kick out of a 4th. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. John Cena picks up a victory in what was a fantastic match here in the main event of Mayhem. And maybe PJW is going to have to think about John Cena a bit more now as well with that victory, because that puts him on 110 ranking points with that victory in his debut. Of course, we are going to see Cena again next week taking on Brian Cage. But for now, I believe that Austin's not penciled in for another match till after the pay-per-view. When I'm sure NJPW will have some interesting. That's the best thing. Once the pay-per-view's finished, then we can look at the rankings and try and get a few of those people that are probably ranked a little bit lower than what they should be, a little bit higher, and try and get people who are ranked a little bit higher, a little bit lower, if that makes any sense. Because you've got people like Albert now who won that fatal four-way earlier on, who's now got the same amount of points tonight as John Cena did. So John Cena versus Albert, or John Cena versus Lord Tensai, if you will, could happen. You never know. You never know, and that'll push Cena a bit higher and Albert a bit lower in theory. But what a match this was. Cena kicking out of 2 Stone Cold Stunners, Austin kicking out of 2 attitude adjustments and finally succumbing to the 3rd. It was a good night. It really has been a good night. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit that like button. It does really help myself and NJPW out. Helps grow the video, helps grow the channel, helps grow the SWE in general. We want some more exposure. We want more people coming in. And you guys can help us out with that. And of course, if you are new around here, then hitting that subscribe button as well will let you know whenever I've got a video online. If you click that little bell next to it as well, that's even better. But yeah, I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days' time for our next episode of SWE Octane. I don't know why I said it like that. That sounded really, really weird.
Bye.